We will be revitalizing our efforts to operationalize the Food Industry Task Force towards reducing salts, sugars, and fat content in processed foods.
That's right. Too much salt and sugar isn't good for you. And in today's program, we hear more from our health minister on this and other initiatives to improve the health of our people. Welcome to this Tuesday edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry. Also in the show, a robotics camp for your children to get engaged in this summer. Plus,
we no longer wear like Jamaica. Because no one else we like Jamaica.
we share in the winning performance for this year's JCDC Jamaica Festival Song Competition. So please stay with us as we start things off with this message.
You can lower your salt intake by checking the labels when buying processed and packaged foods. Compare products and choose the options lower in salt. A low salt option should have less than 120 milligrams of sodium per 100 grams of food. Reduce the salt and increase your consumption of fresh unprocessed foods. When cooking and at the table, use herbs, spices, and other seasonings to give you great flavor and taste. A public service message from the Jamaica Information Service and the Ministry of Health.
Good day, I'm Tamara McHale, and this is your GIS News for Tuesday, July 12. Jamaica is now on stronger footing, following a brainstorming session on growth and debt management strategies sponsored by the World Bank. Tuesday morning seminar drew from global policymakers, international experts, and countries like Costa Rica, Latvia, and Singapore, which have successfully turned around their economies following difficult times. Government also heard how it could implement debt management strategies and collaborate with the private sector to accelerate growth.
We make a commitment for actualizing what we have learned. A commitment to a resolve for economic growth and prosperity for our people.
For her part, the World Bank's country director Sophie Certain commended Jamaica for the implementation of its proactive debt management strategy, structural reform in the financial and public sectors, and its investment in competitive sectors.
It is really on these achievements that we want to build today to identify together additional initiatives, additional reforms, additional policies and investment that could leverage these achievements to accelerate progress towards sustainable and inclusive growth.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness is reassuring the public that all is being done to bring the killer or killers to justice, even as he mourns Saturday's murder of a 3-year-old girl in St. Anne. Mr. Holness says he's had conversations with Police Commissioner Dr. Carl Williams, who has assured that good progress is being made in the investigations. The head of government is also calling on all Jamaicans to be parents to all children and report suspicious activities. In the meantime, Mr. Holness says he will be pursuing suggestions to define, redefine, or augment offences and punishments for the murder of pregnant women and other forms of violence against women and children. Among them, fast-tracking amendments to the Offences Against the Person Act, the Domestic Violence Act, and the Child Care and Protection Act. Government has exceeded its tax collection targets for the first quarter of the 2016-2017 fiscal year. In a statement, Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ says it was over its $22 billion June target by 12.2%. Since April's start of the new financial year, collections were at $61.9 billion. The TAJ says the performance was as a result of its focused compliance strategies, which also led the agency to surpass its annual target for 2015-2016. Those strategies include the implementation of the Revenue Administration Information System RAISE, online filing for some taxpayers, and a system-generated penalty of $5,000 per month per return for late filing. The Tax Administration Department's compliance activities have also been bolstered by the passing of several pieces of legislation, namely access to third-party information and garnishment. The Street Lighting Installation Loss Reduction and Community Renewal (SILC) program will be implemented in August. Portfolio Minister Dr. Andrew Wheatley announced the program's implementation timeframe during Sunday's broadcast of JIS TV's Issues and Answers program. The Silk program, budgeted at $1.25 billion, will result in improved electricity supply to 25 communities in Kingston, St. Andrews, St. Catherine and St. James.
The money is already available, it has been identified, and all the players are involved. We are bringing on board Jamaica Public Service, NESOL, which is a government entity, formerly REP, JSIF, and of course it will all be managed by the ministry to ensure that the objective of this initiative is fully met.
Government is looking to establish up to 5 agroeconomic zones for farmers. It's expected that the zones will not only provide a more reliable market for their produce, but also reduce predial larceny. Minister with responsibility for agriculture and fisheries, J.C. Hutchinson, says all the produce from farmers will be taken to the zones by refrigerated trucks registered for the purpose.
All end users will purchase their produce from the zones and be given an invoice or cash or charge receipt. Inspectors will be deployed to inspect all end users of agricultural produce. These end users must provide the proof of purchase from the complex, or else we are going to be putting in place that they be fined up to $3 million.
Mr. Hutchinson was making his contribution to the sectoral debate in Parliament recently. The agroeconomic zones will be equipped with cold storage facilities, abattoirs and wholesale outlets. They will also offer grading, packaging, processing and drying services.
With this structure, the farmers would have a ready market for their produce, which would encourage farmers to expand their production and entice new entrants to the agricultural sector. It is felt that under this system, predial larceny would be curtailed by about 70%.
And finally, youth and children are being targeted through an essay competition aimed at finding solutions to population issues. Organized by the Planning Institute of Jamaica, the competition was launched on July 11, World Population Day, under the theme Investing in Teenage Girls, Engaging Men and Boys.
We hope that this essay competition will strengthen your capacity and your ability as children and youth to contribute to the achievement of the goals and outcomes in Vision 2030 Jamaica, and particularly one of our outcomes that speaks to a healthy and stable population and many of the issues we are discussing today, such as adolescent fertility rate, population growth rate.
The competition targets students 10 to 24 years through 6 essay topics and 3 categories. The winner of each category will receive a trophy, a Vision 2030 Jamaica gift basket, and cash prizes from $20,000 to $40,000. Deadline for submission is October 14, 2016, and entries can be submitted to the offices of the Planning Institute of Jamaica or by email. And that's it for GIS News today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thank you for watching.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Give yourself a fighting chance. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
In order to achieve high levels of economic growth and prosperity, our people have to be healthy. And this is why Minister Christopher Tufton has carefully outlined a number of measures to invest in the health of all Jamaicans. What are these? Learn more in this feature.
Research shows that healthy people make for productive citizens, and productive citizens make for a thriving economy and society.
In pursuit of a thriving economy and society, the Ministry of Health's plan for this fiscal year is to continue encouraging all Jamaicans to embrace healthy lifestyle practices. This includes maintaining a balanced diet and avoiding excessive consumption of fats, salts, and sugars.
We will be revitalizing our efforts to operationalize the Food Industry Task Force towards reducing salts, sugar, and fat content in processed foods and outlining a caloric values on labels so that the public can make an educated choice as to what they are eating.
There'll also be interventions to reduce the use of tobacco, alcohol, and other substances that are contributors to non-communicable diseases, NCDs.
There needs to be a comprehensive relook and implementation of the amendments to the Dangerous Drugs Act, the impact it is having and will have on the health services, and that funding be urgently put in place to ensure a robust prevention and control program in this regard. And we in the Ministry of Health will lead that process in the months ahead.
The ministry will also encourage Jamaicans to do regular medical screening and checkups and engage in physical activity through a national campaign dubbed Jamaica Moves. And while the population does those things to prevent diseases,
we need to prepare a public health care system, primary, secondary, and tertiary, clinics and hospitals, to adequately treat personal health issues as they occur.
As a matter of priority this fiscal year, the Ministry of Health will be advancing the process which has started for the development of a 10-year strategic plan for the health sector.
This strategic review and planning process will also include a policy review of the governance mechanism for the sector, and particularly the functionality of the regional health authorities, with the aim, Mr. Speaker, of defining the most efficient approach to managing the delivery of healthcare across the country.
A World Bank-led benchmarking cost review is also being undertaken. This will examine and benchmark costs associated with the administration of healthcare in different areas to determine if the spending is optimal.
This, Mr. Speaker, will facilitate taking the necessary steps to reapportion expenditures to ensure the greatest levels of efficiency.
A pilot intervention in 6 major health centers and 8 hospitals will form the basis for reducing the time it takes for a patient to see a doctor in the public health sector. It will also involve improving customer service and assessment and redirecting non-emergency cases from hospitals to the nearest primary health center. The ministry is also moving to reduce the backlog of surgeries by increasing personnel and improving operating theaters. Doctors' working hours is also being reviewed.
This could lead to better and safer working arrangements for our doctors and an increase in the number of doctors employed within the system, leading to greater throughput of patients in some areas and further reduction in waiting time.
A public-private partnership PPP policy is also being developed to support the provision of diagnostic services, expansion of hospitals, and provision of pharmacy services. At the same time, the National Health Fund will be moving into some health centers. Attention will also be given to ensuring that government collects private health insurance to help fund the care for those who cannot afford to pay. A feasibility plan for a national health insurance scheme is also being worked on. In keeping with the e-government thrust, the ministry is also moving to expand electronic record keeping across the general public health sector. The use of telemedicine technology is also to become routine as government expands the avenues for diagnosing and treating patients. Encouraging healthy lifestyle practices, reducing the burden on hospitals, cutting patient waiting times, and upgrading and expanding the various health facilities. These and more are on the agenda as the Ministry of Health advances the health of our people and Jamaica's wealth.
Yes, the heat is on. And as we continue to deal with the sweltering heat and dry conditions, parents, it's important to keep your kids hydrated.
Give them lots of water, lots of fluids if you can. Do some fun things. If you can either make some syrup with lime, lemonade, and freeze it. You can put popsicle sticks in there, and you have your children do it. And that can be a fun activity for them to do. And it's something that will keep them hydrated also.
In these hot summer months, children tend to drink more, which is good, except for those who are consuming more of the sugary drinks such as sodas. A better option? Water, of course. Another good choice is freshly squeezed and chilled orange juice, which is not only refreshing but also has loads of vitamin C. Learn the importance of this vitamin in today's HealthWise.
If you're like most kids, you've probably heard at least one parent say, "Don't forget to take your vitamins. Eat your fruits and salads. They're packed with vitamins." And you heed the advice. But do you know why? Do you know what exactly vitamins are?
Vitamins are substances that are found in foods we eat. Our body needs them to work properly. Each vitamin has a special role to play. For example, vitamin D in milk helps us develop strong bones and teeth. Vitamin A in carrots helps us to see at night. Vitamin C in oranges helps our bodies to heal from a cut. And B vitamins in leafy green vegetables help our bodies make protein and energy. There are two categories of vitamins, fat-soluble and water-soluble. Fat-soluble vitamins are the ones called A, D, E, and K.
When we eat foods that contain fat-soluble vitamins, the essential nutrients are stored in the fatty tissues of our bodies and our livers until our bodies need them.
The water-soluble vitamins are C and B complex. These cannot be stored in our bodies and will dissolve in water before our bodies can absorb them. Any vitamin C or B that our bodies do not use pass through our systems, mostly when we urinate. So they need to be replaced regularly to ensure a fresh supply every day.
But let's break it down and take a look at one of these vitamins, C.
Vitamin C is often referred to as the cold-fighting vitamin. It is also known as a wonder worker because it plays an important role in building and maintaining our tissues. Doctors say it can enhance the function of the immune system and plays a role in the formation of important enzymes in the body. Vitamin C is important because it protects the body from skin diseases, respiratory infections, and cardiovascular problems.
According to nutritionists, human beings cannot produce their own supply of vitamin C, so we have to obtain it through our diet.
Vitamin C is found in citrus and other fruits such as oranges, limes, lemons, tangerines, grapefruit, papaya, strawberries, melons, and cantaloupes. It can also be found in vegetables like tomatoes, broccoli, green and red bell peppers, potatoes, peas, raw lettuce, and cabbage.
Vitamin C can be lost easily during cooking, particularly frying, so it's recommended that people steam their vegetables to minimize loss.
Vitamin C is also good for preserving the body from aches, pains, and heart disease. If we do not have enough vitamin C in our systems, it could lead to health complications. Diseases or ailments may include gum bleeding, skin discoloration, lack of energy, tooth decay, poor wound healing, easy bruising, loss of appetite, and pain in the joints. According to medical experts, there are certain groups of persons who can easily use up ascorbic acid, that is vitamin C found in citrus and green vegetables, more rapidly than others. These are alcohol consumers, smokers, diabetics, individuals under stressful conditions or fever, and the elderly.
It is important to remember that vitamin C is also a highly effective antioxidant.
For additional information on vitamin C, consult your doctor or nutritionist. You can also get valuable tips from any government health institution close to you. So be health-wise.
Life is all about making decisions, choosing from a number of options to do a particular thing, which may result in a specific outcome.
It can be difficult, but there are 4 things you can do to help make that decision.
Stop.
Check out what's happening and remind yourself to think before acting.
Think.
Make sure you're aware of the choices, all the advantages and disadvantages. Then think about the consequences.
Act.
Choose the best option and do something about it.
Review.
Finally, review what you have done and determine if it was good or bad. That way, you'll be in a better position to make the next decision, whether big or simple.
You know, I remember my first summer camp. It was really fun and I made a lot of new friends. These days, you have such a wide variety of summer camps, from church to cooking. There's something for every child. Why not try a robotics camp for children? It's an educational yet fun way to get them engaged in this dynamic field, and they will certainly enjoy making the robots. Take a look at one such camp, which is run each summer by the Kimroy Bailey Foundation.
Just imagine a summer camp that teaches you how to make robots. And even more cool, it teaches you how to program and use them. Well, imagine no more, because it's happening right here in Jamaica at the University of Technology. Targeting high school students, the Kimroy Bailey Robotics and Renewable Energy Summer Camp is all about exposing students to science, technology, energy and mathematics, for short, STEM, through hands-on interactive sessions. For 3 weeks, the camp will support government's thrust to engage persons in those areas to prepare and build a labor force that's ready to advance investment opportunities being pursued for the economic growth of the country.
For the first 3 days of the camp, students will be concentrating mainly on robotics. And what is robotics? They'll be doing mobile robots. So how to program a simple robotics platform, get it to move when it senses an object or an obstacle, how to move away from it. But more importantly, how can that mobile robot communicate with the user? So here we have a portable camera. With a smartphone, wherever the robot goes, you have access to that information in real time. The last 2 days we'll be doing renewable energy, and here we have our partner Genex, and students will have the opportunity to assemble solar units. So you have the panels, the control units, the batteries, etc., to see how renewable energy comes to life.
Students will also get first-hand experience on how to build programs on smartphones that can remotely operate lights, air-conditioned units, and security features for your home or business.
You can control all the lights, you can reduce your energy. For the government, for big industries where AC, heating and cooling plays a critical role, you can have your smartphone tracking who's in which room at which time. When they leave, the lights go off, the AC goes off, so you're saving energy. And that's what we want to get to these students, and then from there to the Jamaica on a whole.
The objective of the Robotics and Renewable Energy Summer Camp is to ignite interest in the science and technical areas, with a view to get young persons thinking from an early age of the entrepreneurial platforms that are available, like building mobile surveillance units.
So here we have 2 different versions of a quadcopter. And with this platform, you could use it for aerial surveillance. Let's say something goes wrong on your property, you can deploy a quadcopter to do a full 360 analysis of what's going on at any given point. So we went ahead and we reduced the cost of $1,000 system. That's around 100,000 Jamaican dollars. And for a couple $100, we got the motors, we got simple bricks, Lego bricks, and we could break it down further to having bamboo, regular Jamaican bamboo, to make the joints, get the motors, and we can do this here. We can do this locally, achieving the same task with much on our budget and doing the manufacturing locally.
And thinking even further about the sustainability of the device, the team has incorporated the renewable energy component.
Quadcopters, they can consume 10 Duracell batteries in an hour. These are small solar cells, and we have partnered with Genex. What we'll go ahead and do is have students assemble the integrated circuit. So the solar cell collects the energy from the sun. There's a charge controller. A very simple AA battery can be found in any remote controller. And this can then be embedded on your quadcopter, your mobile robot, your house security system, and in real time you're storing energy, you're collecting and storing energy.
The summer camp has come at a very, very ideal time with this push for STEM. When we look at these major mega projects that are about to take place, we definitely have to be a part of it, and we have to show our government that yes, we can be the ones who will be implementing, as I said, this technology, and this transfers nicely into what it is that we want to do in terms of reviving our manufacturing sector.
Kim Roy is an engineer and has represented Jamaica at robotics competitions abroad while attending UTech. Placing third in 2012 changed his perspective of Jamaica's ability to become a producer of technology and sparked a passion within him to pass on the knowledge.
And standing there in that global audience, you realize that our country, it doesn't require a Japan or a Asia or a China to make things. We can make things, we can compete on an international stage and be recognized for that. Robotics brings a lot of the principles of the physics, the chemistry, the biology in one interactive platform. Once you can touch the science, it naturally leaves a footprint in that psyche. So we, through robotics, hands-on, renewable energy, you can see the development. Naturally, students will see this and remember it moving forward. It's more than just a whiteboard or a projector screen. It's now having all that information from the textbook coming to life.
For more information on the Kim Roy Bailey Robotics and Renewable Energy Summer Camp, call 834-5971 or send an email to kimroy@kimroybailey.com.
No I Like Jamaica is the 2016 Jamaica Festival song. The winner, O'Neal Nazelman Scott, was selected at the recent finals. If you don't know the song yet, come on, join in the celebration.
My sweet Jamaica, all who love Jamaica, we are the man. Hey, why-yoy, 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 why-yoy. Hey, we no love no way like Jamaica. Because no one is sweet like Jamaica. Oh, because I will not leave sweet Jamaica, end up in a foreign land. Things we achieve, so we blessed by the Father, mighty, 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 and we don't love no way like Jamaica. Watch me, woman, how she said, say, because no one else is like Jamaica. Whoa, hey, well, Columbus came when him lost the way. He was the right choice, but him kill and him thief. Where him never put on and sell Jamaica nice, the pretty white sand beach. Make the tourists come, land of paradise, then come for your feast. In a tourist resort, all who love Jamaica will be on them. We don't love the way like Jamaica. Oh, yeah, because no one else like Jamaica. No one better, yeah. Hey, because I will not leave sweet Jamaica, end up in a foreign land. Things we achieve, so we blessed by the Father, mighty, 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 and we don't love no way like Jamaica. No one no better than Yahweh, because no one no sweet like Jamaica. Hey, watch me now, we eat ackee and saltfish run down over Duns River Fall. Then we listen to some sweet reggae music.
No one is sweet like Jamaica for real, which is why we need all hands on deck to work together and make this country the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Share your feedback on today's show or send your questions to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. We encourage you to also visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for all the latest national news and information. Plus, keep connected on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.